Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna jump right into this video. This is going to be a 5x5 closure, like a frontal install. I already have a tutorial up, so this is just more like a recap. The texture of the hair that's being used is deep wave, and it's from OnnaLuxe, of course, and it is beautiful. I'm putting a side by side of the look that my client was going for. On the right, that is the curly hair, and on the left, it is the deep wave hair. Again, they are both from OnnaLuxe, and the inches are the same. They are two 14-inch bundles and a 16-inch closure for both. So if you guys watched my other 5x5 closure tutorial, you would know what I'm doing with this step. I am just parting off the middle section of the braids that will be going straight back. The steps are pretty much going to be the exact same, except the other video was my side parts and this one will be the middle. So I just figured I would just go ahead and do a touch up just in case if you guys wanted to know how to do a middle part. And I just wanted to go ahead and use my OnnaLuxe Virgin Hair just because I thought that would be pretty cool. So that's what I'm doing right now, just sectioning off the hair. So after I have sectioned off the middle, I'm going to go ahead and start doing my side braids. So after that section is done, I'm going to go ahead and start on the middle section of braids. And as I said before, these will be going straight back. You want to make sure that these braids are small and extremely neat because this is where your lace is going to lay. And you want it to be able to lay as flat as possible. So after I finished with the middle section, I went on ahead and did the other side off camera just because I, for one, already have another tutorial up, and for two, I already showed you guys how to do the other side, and it's pretty self-explanatory. So moving on to the next step, you're going to grab your Got2b gel and you're going to go ahead and smooth those edges and or baby hairs all the way back, making sure that there's not one hair out of place. As you can see, I'm just smoothing it back with my hands. You want to just keep doing this until you feel it starting to dry up, basically. And then after that, you're just going to take your Got2b spray and spray that on top a little bit. And then you're just going to go and do the same thing. This helps with making sure that none of your client's edges will be caught up in the lace glue. So now that your client's hair is molded down and there's not a hair out of place, you want to go ahead and grab that stocking cap and go ahead and pull it down, making sure it is stretched out to its fullest capability. Stretching the cap out helps when you're trying to get the cap to lay as flat as possible. So after that is done, you want to go ahead and grab your Got2b gel and just smooth in at least one layer of the Got2b gel. And you're going to make sure that you're smoothing it in clear. Making sure that you're doing a very thin layer. You don't want it to be thick because then it'll be difficult to dry. After that is done, you want to go ahead and grab your spray and you want to spray over what you just did and then some. As you can see, I'm just kind of taking my fingernail and I'm just pulling it back some, trying to get everything mixed in with each other so that way it'll have a completely dry and flat finish. So after I finish that first layer, I'm just going to grab some more spray and spray it one more time. And I'm going to basically repeat the same steps, just smoothing it in again. After that is done, you want to go ahead and grab your blow dryer and blow dry that until it is completely dry. So sometimes what I do to give my client a break from the blow dryer is when it is about halfway dry, I go ahead and grab my needle and thread and I go ahead and sew down the cap where I know my closure will lay. And again, guys, I apologize. I don't know how to explain how I know where to put the how I know where to sew it down at. It's just kind of something I have an eye for. But if you have a 5x5 closure, I would just say, if you know what an inch looks like, you know, do that times 5, you know, vertically and horizontally, and there you have it. It's kind of like what I do. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. So now that the cap is done being sewn down, I'm going to go ahead and finish blow drying the cap. Now that the cap is completely molded down, I'm going to go ahead and grab my makeup. And what I normally do is match the client's skin tone in the front, and I do a shade lighter towards the back. So that's what I'm doing right now. After I'm done applying the makeup, I'm going to go ahead and cut off the rest of the cap that I won't be needing for this install. So as you can see, you can kind of see the cap. So I'm just going ahead and grabbing some more makeup, and I'm blending it in a little bit more with her skin. After you have the cap blended in with your client's skin, you want to go ahead and grab some 91% alcohol and a paper towel or a napkin or some tissue, whatever you can use, and you're just going to clean your client's skin. This way your lace glue will stick. After you are done cleaning your client's skin, you want to go ahead and grab your lace glue and add just a very thin layer. I do that by adding some dots on there, and I just smooth it down with the rat tail comb. And like I said, you just do one layer of that. That's just to mold down your cap just a little bit more. So while I let that dry, I'm going to go ahead and pluck her closure. Now, normally I already have this done, but I was out of town the night before and I was just getting in really late, so I just was gonna go ahead and do it while I knew I had the lace screws drying. So that's what I'm doing right here. But I decided to go ahead and put it in the video just in case if you guys wanted to see how I plucked my 5x5 closures. I feel like the biggest key for me is not too much is just enough. And so I don't do a whole bunch of plucking because I don't want the closures to get old fast or it just not last my client. So I always do it just enough to make it look as natural as possible, but I don't go crazy with it because I don't want it to be bald. So after I have finished plucking, I'm going to go ahead and grab the blow dryer and I'm going to blow dry the hairline. I am doing this so I can grab the hot comb and press down the hair a little bit, make it lay flat. I try to get it as flat as possible before I lay it on my client's head, just because I don't like using all of that heat while it's on my client's head. So I try to do as much as I can off of the client's head. So after I finished up with that, I went on ahead and added the same makeup that I used on the cap to the bottom of the lace. and I am now going on ahead and putting it on my client's head. So being that my client's getting a middle part, I'm going to make sure that the closure is directly in the middle of her head. So now that it is, I'm going to go ahead and start sewing down the closure. The first steps of sewing down the closure is only sewing down the sides first. Also, before you start sewing it down, you want to make sure you have at least a 1/2 inch of the little tab. That way you have enough room, like you're making sure you have enough room to glue down your closure. You don't want it to be pulled all the way back. You guys will see what I mean in just a minute. Pay attention to the right side of the closure. You'll see that part that just lifted up. That is about the amount that you want to leave in the front of your lace. So after your closure is on there good, you want to go ahead and begin your glue down process. Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more makeup, and then I'm going to start my glue down process. So beginning your glue down process, you want to go ahead and grab your clips and pin the lace back. So actually, guys, here's a better view of how much you want to leave left in the front of your tabs. It's actually about 1 inch worth. So before I glue anything down, I need to go ahead and cut off these same tabs that I have been talking y'all's head off about. So now that the tabs are cut off, we can go ahead and apply our first layer of the lace glue. I don't know what made me want to do this, but I decided to use the popsicle sticks this time, and it actually works out pretty well. So I think that's what I'm going to end up using from now on. But as you can see, I'm just making sure I smooth that first layer in really good, making sure that it is thin and not going to dry clumpy and white. So while these layers of glue is going to be drying, I'm going to be finishing up the rest of the sewing. Now, I have been sneaking and doing the sewing during this entire video. I forgot to mention that that's what I was doing, but now that you guys know, you can always be working on your sewing while other things are in progress. As you guys can see, that first layer dried perfectly, so I'm now moving on to the second layer of glue. So for this install, I'm using 3 layers of glue. So now I am on to my third and final layer of lace glue. So I can't really move forward with the rest of the sewing until the front of the lace is glued down. So I'm going to speed up the process a little bit and grab my hand blow dryer and just blow dry it until it is clear. So now that it is clear, I'm going to go ahead and lay my lace down. After you got it down, you can go ahead and take your comb and press that lace into place. So now that that's done, I can go ahead and sew down the rest of the closure. This way I can go ahead and finish with the rest of the sew-in. So now that I have finished sewing in the hair, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the lace. Now when you're cutting your lace, you wanna make sure that you are cutting in a zigzag motion. You don't wanna do it straight across because then your lace will be detectable. So just make sure you do it in an up and down zigzag motion. After you cut off the excess lace, you just want to go ahead and add any glue where need be if you need to. If not, then you can skip this step. After you do that, you want to go ahead and blow dry that until it is clear. After you see that it has dried clear, you can go ahead and press in your lace to the glue. So now it is time to add a little bit more makeup to that hairline and go ahead and pull out what you need to do your baby hairs. If your lace already blends perfectly with your client's skin, you can skip this step, but I just wanted to make sure that it blended a little bit better with my client's skin, so I went on and added a little bit more makeup to the hairline, just making sure that it was as natural looking as possible. So after that is done, you can go ahead and razor cut your baby hairs. So to style my baby hair, I normally use the Got2b gel with a mixture of the Afro-G wrapping foam. So right here, I'm just using the Got2b gel and I'm just laying those baby hairs. So after I finish laying them with the Got2b gel, I take the spray and I spray them just a little bit just to make them kind of set in place and lay nice and neat. After that's done, I just take the rest of the hair and I put it all in ponytail. This way I can use my OnnaLuxe edge scarf and lay these baby hairs down. So here's where I take the FOG wrapping foam and I just add it to the baby hairs. It gives it a little bit of a shine and it just kind of loosens them up a little bit so they don't look so hard. So finishing up with this install, I am parting the hair and I'm going to grab my wax stick and I'm going to put it on each side of the hair and I'm going to take my hot comb and go ahead and define your part. I literally love everything about this install, y'all. It is so pretty. It is so natural looking. The hair is beautiful. The color is beautiful. And like I said, this is the deep wave hair from OnnaLuxe Virgin Hair. And you can order by visiting www.beautyxavi.net. So we are finally pretty much done with this install. We're going to finish it off with taking a spray bottle with just water and a dime size of conditioner, and we're going to spray the hair and define these waves or curls, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, that's what we're doing right now. Now, I normally don't do this, but because this isn't a wig and this is a sew-in and my client is new to this type of install, and I don't think she's new to curly hair, but this is her first time purchasing with me and I wanted her curls to pop as long as possible. So I took some of the same FOG wrapping foam and I put a little bit on the hair and I just went on ahead and started brushing it through. So now we have our finished products. This is so pretty, y'all. She loved it. She texted me and told me she loved it. It's just really pretty. And like I said before, this is our deep wave texture. And oh my gosh, y'all, this install is so pretty. But if you guys liked my video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching.